Cetrisan.
This coming Sunday is a special day in a lot of countries, a lot of Catholic countries. It's Easter Sunday coming up, right? So we want to learn how to say Happy Easter in Croatian.
Awesome.
The way to say Happy Easter in Croatian, Tony, Sretan, just like how we start with Sretan Božić, right? That's merry or happy. Sretan. The word for Easter is Uskrs.
Sretan Uskrs.
Bravo. Sretan Uskrs.
Sretan Uskrs.
So very, very big holiday is Easter Sunday. Also, you have Easter Monday, which is the actual the holiday everyone spends home from work. They get that day off too. Got it?
Nice.
A nice holiday. Easter egg hunts. It's the last day of Lent. So hopefully you're going to be whatever you gave up. Like a lot of people give up sweets. You're going to have candy that day.
Indulge.
Right. If you gave up studying Croatian for 40 days, thankfully you're set up for it here.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
my excuse.
Yes. Our lesson episode today is going to be centered around food.
Ooh, I wonder why.
Yes, there's a big common thing the three of us have is a love for food and a love for eating food and cooking, baking it too. So we've got a good baking thing in our minds. So also this references we got an email from Austin from Vancouver. He was a question we had in episode 40. Would love to learn how to give compliments on food. Austin, this one's for you. So we're going to kind of keep things rolling. So first thing we're going to learn is the word for food, right? So we're going to come back to that one there, Tony. The word for food is hrana.
Hrana.
Got it. Hrana.
Give me some of that hrana.
Yeah. Hrana. So that HR beginning is the same as in Hrvatska, right?
Yeah.
Hrana.
Hrana.
Hrana is food. So now we're going to learn the 3 meals of the day. Some of us have 4 or 5, depending on where you're from. And I think that's in a lot of countries. But let's stick to the 3 basics that we all know. The word for breakfast is doručak.
Doručak.
Very nice. Doručak.
Doručak.
Odlično, Tony. So the word for lunch is ručak.
Ručak.
Right. So there's the same word as in doručak, right? So ručak is the word for lunch, which in Croatia, most of the time is the main meal. It's the afternoon meal. It's the solid meal, right? It's the big one. So if people come home from work, you're going to have that one with your family traditionally. Maybe things are changing now. So ručak is the word for lunch. Ručak.
Ručak.
Odlično. So doručak is before breakfast, like up until lunch. So doručak basically means the meal before lunch. Ručak is lunch.
So the dough part is kind of before.
Not necessarily, like perfect. You wouldn't say, it's not. It doesn't mean before, but let's say pre or leading up until, right? It's got that vibe. It's not a perfect translation.
The pre-gaming too.
Thank you. Yeah, pre-game up until lunch. So like if you've been out partying all night, this happened to me in one summer in Croatia. Like if you're out partying all night, studying hard and learning about Croatian culture up until 4:00 in the morning, and
one does,
right?
Yeah.
And most people do when they're
common thing
in their early 20s in summer Croatian summers. You wake up at 11:00 because it was a long night, and you have breakfast, and all of a sudden 2 hours later you're going to have the biggest meal of the day. It's a tall order. It's a tall order, and you can't be disappointing people you're staying with that you're not going to eat a big lunch. So get that out of your head right now. So ručak is lunch. Tony, ručak.
Ručak.
Bravo. Up till later on in the evening, in the States, we usually try to do dinner 6:00, 7:00, whenever someone's home from work. In Europe, a lot of countries like Spain, it's like 9:00, 10:00. It really goes late. So in Croatia, they kind of tend to go towards that too. So the word for dinner is večera.
Večera.
So what are the first 5 letters in that word, Tony?
It's like the Dobro večer.
Dobar Tek, right? Večera. So it's basically the meal of the evening.
Night
Večera.
Night food.
Pretty much, večera. So it won't be maybe something that's wholly newly baked, but it might be leftovers from the day, or maybe it's some cold meats and, like a light salad. So it's not going to be the big meal that we Americans kind of end the night on and go to sleep with a big tummy,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't necessarily healthy for you. Okay, so let's say you walk in on somebody having doručak or ručak or večera, right? In France, and it's used in the States too, we say bon appetit, right? Which means basically have a good meal. The way to say bon appetit in Croatian is Dobar Tek.
Dobar Tek.
Dobar Tek.
Dobar Tek.
So when you walk into a room and all of a sudden you walked in on people, chowing down some food, you say Dobar Tek. Or if you're at a restaurant and you say Dobar Tek and you walking by people, say Dobar Tek, and they say hvala and they continue their meal, wishing them to have a happy meal.
Nice.
So now let's move on to the actual compliments you would give food, right? So if something is delicious and or tasty, kind of in the same vein, the word for that is ukusno.
Ukusno.
Ponovi opet, Tony. Ukusno.
Ukusno.
Bravo. So if something is ukusno, it's tasty.
Ukusno.
We know one already from before. Something for sweet is slatko.
Hey.
Hey. So that plays for food and it plays for sweethearts, plays for reports.
That's right.
Yes, it's true. They're very super sweet
Very
reports.
super sweet.
Super slatko. So if something is ukusno, you're saying, wow, this is tasty, this is delicious. So if something, let's get a little bit more dainty here. If something is, another way of complimenting food is the word fine. Fino.
Fino.
Yeah, fino.
Fino.
I'm fino.
Fino.
Right, so let's say you're having cevap and it's ukusno. And you have some cabbage salad on the side. I'm fino.
Fino.
And then what if something is wonderful? Like let's say I make this amazing Croatian dessert and it's wonderful. It's predivno.
Predivno.
So there's the word we kind of all are familiar with, a divine in there, right? Predivno is more than, it's like heavenly. It's wonderful. Predivno.
Predivno.
Excellent, Tony. Bravo. So here's a way that I found really helpful for friends. Let's say if you're lucky enough to have dinner with a Croatian family and it's a big tradition, you're kind of expected to eat a lot. And let's say you're doing your best and you're trying to impress and you've knocked out 2 plates, but you want to tap out. So the way you say enough, please, please enough. Dosta?
Dosta.
Molim vas.
Molim vas.
So it's a very fun, playful, and respectful way of saying, I can't eat anymore. Thank you. I just can't eat anymore. The coma is hitting me. Dosta, molim vas.
Dosta. Molim vas.
Right. So that's you're saying, I've had enough. Puno hvala. Thank you. Excellent. Let's review all those words that we did. Are you ready, Tony?
Da.
Tony, the words for happy Easter are Sretan Uskrs.
Sretan Uskrs.
Bravo. Bon appetit in Croatian is Dobar Tek.
Dobar Tek.
Odlično. Food na hrvatski is hrana.
Hrana.
Super. Breakfast, the meal before lunch, doručak.
Doručak.
Tony, what's your go-to doručak?
Probably like a oatmeal or something.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, DJ Mo?
I hop all over. Usually like hard-boiled eggs and guacamole.
Really? Interesting. Wow. Awesome. Okay, the word for lunch, ručak.
Ručak.
Bravo. The word for lunch is ručak. The word for dinner, the evening meal, večera.
Večera.
Bravo. Večera. If something is delicious and tasty, it's ukusno.
Ukusno.
Yeah, super. This is ovo ukusno. This is very tasty. If something is fine, elegant, fino.
Fino.
Yeah, I am a fino. Right? That sounds very Italian as well, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's a you can use that in any language and you get across. Let's say in Europe. Maybe that won't work other parts of the world. Wonderful. The word for wonderful is predivno.
Predivno.
Yeah. Odlično. And Tony, if you've just had a meal with a Croatian family and you're trying to be nice, but you know you can't eat anymore, and the the mom and dad are still trying to put food on your plate, you say dosta, molim vas.
Dosta, molim vas.
Dosta, molim vas. Predivno, ukusno, fino, dosta, molim vas. Dosta, molim vas.
All of that?
I mean,
Yeah.
you better start throwing those compliments at him. Try to get him to stay away.
Oh, he actually liked it.
Yes, fala puno.
Don't forget to hit subscribe.
And smash that like button.